A lot of people want to know how I afford such a nice lifestyle. And I want to tell you right now that all the nice things in life I have came from real estate. And for the most part, I bought thousands of homes, I rent them out, and there are 5 specific improvements, secrets that I use to get the highest rents possible. And today I'm going to show you what they are.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Listen, if you're one of my subscribers, you know that I'm not in my studio today. I just got back from this crazy hunt in Alaska, literally dropped this amazing 10-foot monster of a bear. Hunting provides such amazing leadership opportunities for me, but I'll tell you something. Hunting, the way that I do it, it's a little bit expensive, like 6-figure expensive. That lifestyle is available because I've been investing in real estate for the last almost 20 years. And, I've got buddies that will flip properties, and I find that there's something short-sighted if all you do is flip real estate because, yeah, you can make some good money on it, but it's these short-term gains. It's almost like having a job. You work your butt off, you get a big check, and then you live off of it, and then you got to do it again. But when you get in the rental game, what ends up happening is with each house you own, you pick up a ton of benefits, right? Think about it. You're collecting a positive cash flow if you buy it the right way, which is why today I'm talking about 5 different improvements on how you get a higher cash flow out of it. But in addition, you've got the tax benefits, it appreciates, it goes up in value. All of these things are beautiful, but most important is the cash flow. Because if the cash flow is right, every home that you own, it's like sending it to work and it's working for you day and night. And every month it sends you a check with the excess money. That money can be $100 a month, or it can be $500 a month, or it can be $1,000 a month. And part of that comes down to whether or not you're doing these 5 secrets I'm talking about today. Wait a second, Kris. You're telling me that there are things that you can do to increase rents? I heard that's not really possible. Doesn't that just come down to what the rents are like in the area where you bought the house? Check this out. Your property's value, it's not entirely fixed. When investing in a property, most people will tell you that the 3 most important things are location, location, and location. There's a lot of truth to that. The rental market is largely based on the local going rates of those rents, but there are several things that you can actually do to boost the appeal and increase your return on investment. Basically, do these 5 things and you can increase that cash flow. Number 1, let's talk about flooring. I've got carpet right here. I've got really nice hardwood right here. Does the flooring in my rental make a difference on how much money I actually collect in gross rent? Could that actually increase the cash flow on my property? Well, let's actually take a look at some studies and what they'll tell you. 54% of homebuyers are willing to pay more for hardwood floors when buying a house. About $2,080 extra according to data from the National Association of Realtors. While this may not seem like much, by replacing your carpet with a trendier hardwood, you make the property easier to maintain and you can boost your rental by $50 to $100 a month. I want you to think about that for just a second. $50 to $100. Is that even a lot? Is that even worth it? Well, first of all, you've got to learn to think as an investor in terms of ROI, return on investment. So if I pay an extra $2,000, for example, for flooring, but I get an extra $100 a month, well, that's basically $1,000 a year, $1,200 a year. In 2 years, I've made my money back. That's a 50% ROI. Is a 50% ROI good? The answer is yes, it's actually fantastic. You're going to find with all 5 of these tips today that, wait a second, $50 here, $100 here, $20 here, $100 there makes the difference between a mediocre cash flow and what we call in real estate a cash cow. As in maybe instead of just 8 udders, maybe it's got 30. Number 2, let's talk about kitchens. By the way, my kitchen is totally filthy right now, but this right here, this is a $100,000 kitchen. And if we were talking about selling a house, not renting a house, you might ask yourself, okay, Kris, wait, are you telling me there's a correlation between putting in a nicer kitchen and obviously that would sell your house for more? But are you saying that that actually makes a difference on how much you can rent a property for? So let's talk about kitchens then. Turns out that when selling a home, minor to moderate kitchen remodels of $20,000 to $25,000, that offers some of the highest ROI that you can actually get in the game of real estate. It gives you a 90 to 100% ROI. That means if I were trying to sell a home and update the kitchen and drop 25 grand in, I might increase the value by 100%. That means I put 25 in, What is 100% on 25? It's another 25. So now the property goes up $50,000. Now I know we're talking about renting a house, but think about this. Would you drop $25,000 if it meant 60 days later or 3 months later, you could sell the house for $50,000 more? Many people would say that's a great ROI. Most of us are living in a 401k IRA world where we're used to getting 5-6% a year on the 30-year average. So all of a sudden I can do a kitchen remodel and sell a house and make 100% on my money over a 90-day period of time. This is big time. This can include, by the way, upgrading countertops, cabinets, ceiling fixtures. These added perks, then what do? They attract better renters. They boost your overall monthly rental income. You put in a really nice kitchen. Could you actually demand an extra $100 or $200 a month if the kitchen was spectacular? 100%. Let's talk about lighting. Check out some of the cool lights in this room. I built this for my wife. It's got really cool under lighting strips. It's got overall lighting. We got a cool chandelier in here. And this is a salt room, right? Like this is made from Himalayan sea salt. This is my wife's crystal collection. She absolutely loves collecting crystals. This is a place where she stores some of them. And the lighting really makes this place pop. Turns out in the game of real estate, lighting is really important. When I bought my very first rentals, like this was kind of back in the day before you had LED options or different type of textures or options of lighting. It was just a bulb and it burned white or it burned yellow. And you could literally walk into a room and it could feel totally dingy based on the lighting that was set up for it. So could lighting actually affect the rental rate? Let's find out. Let's talk lighting. But first, this is my brand new baby Maine Coon. This guy is going to literally probably get 4 feet across. Just a kitten, gonna be huge. So that was random. LED bulbs make spaces more flattering because they emit a softer light than traditional bulbs. According to a study by Vaughan, LED uses 80% less electricity than traditional bulbs. So if your tenants pay a flat utility bill, then you increase your cash flow by replacing bulbs around the house. Let's just say that you're spending $80 a month on electricity. And if you were to switch to LED, it would drop it to $16 a month. And yet your tenants are just paying an extra $100 a month for the lighting bill. Well, all of a sudden you're taking your cost from $80 to $16. You get to keep that difference. That's increased cash flow just because you invested into some cheap light bulbs. Actually, LED bulbs are actually a little bit expensive, but the ROI is going to be there. Trust me. So at the risk of sounding a little bit like a brat, when I bought this beautiful mountain house, it basically came with a garage that could hold 4 cars. And right now I'm getting ready next month to break ground on an addition, and we're adding like another 10 cars worth of garage space. And that's because I have more toys than I have garage room. And that kind of brings up point number 4, which is, wait a second, garage, a place to house a car. Does that actually really affect the rental rates? Well, turns out it does in a really huge way. So let's talk about garages and carports. If the property does not already have a garage or carport, carports only cost about $1,000 to build, and tenants will pay an extra $100 a month to have a roof to protect their car from the elements. Now I want you to think about that. By now you're probably getting the picture, okay, Kris, you're not just making decisions based on hopeful money. We're talking ROI. I spend $1,000, I build a carport, and I charge an extra $100. Well, guess what? That extra $100 is $1,200 a year, right? $100 a month times 12, that's $1,200. But I only invested $1,000. That's 120% return just in the first year alone. And I'm telling you, if you can take a cash flow from $250 to $350, would I invest $1,000 to be able to do that? Heck yeah, 100% I would. So number 5, let's actually talk about rooms, as in bedrooms. Would more bedrooms equate to more rent? This is my daughter's bedroom. She designed it. It's pretty cool for her. I think she really likes her space here. And I want to tell you something about bedrooms. When I got started in the game of real estate, I realized that if you had a 2-bedroom home and you moved simply to a 3-bedroom home, that could massively boost the price of a home. It could go for tens of thousands of dollars more. If you had a 3-bedroom home and added a 4th bedroom, you could tack on more money. But if you went from like 6 bedrooms to 7 bedrooms, it doesn't really make a difference. So if you have a relatively small rental and there might be an area in the house, even a part of the garage or an unfinished basement where you could add a bedroom, let's talk about what that can do to rents. This comes from Open Door. It says, an additional room can add $20,000 to $50,000 to the average purchase price of a home. Notice that I keep citing data talking about the value of a home. Well, it turns out there's a correlation between things that increase the value of a home and the things that also increase the rent of a home. It basically says you can then add potentially several $100s in rental income each month. Considering that the space already exists, putting up drywall or converting a garage into an extra bedroom offers the best ROI on a home. I remember when I got in on one of my first rental properties, it was this small 2-bedroom home. I added a 3rd bedroom right there in the garage, and the neighborhood, there weren't a lot of garages in it. Garages weren't important really in that part of town. But that extra bedroom got me an extra $300 a month. So when you own real estate or when you're buying real estate, you might be thinking, man, if I could add a carport, if I could add an extra room, if I could make the kitchen a little bit nicer and get collectively $200 or $300 a month more, make sure you calculate the ROI, because the cost of putting up a wall to put in a bedroom may not cost a lot of money. It might be the lower of the ROIs that we've talked about today, but don't be a brat like I can certainly be. I'm telling you that a 20% ROI, a 50% ROI, or 100% ROI on any of these decisions far outweighs the average gains in the stock market, 401ks, IRAs. Now you're financially in charge of your destiny by owning real estate. That's a smart move. Listen, the information in today's video, absolutely vital to increasing the cash flow on a rental property. And now you start thinking like I did once upon a time, man, if I own enough rental properties, I can have this pay for my life. I remember I got 25 properties. They were pulling in a 6-figure annual residual income for me. And that basically gave me the power to quit my job. Real estate has the power, done correctly, to free your life. Now, if any of the information I've shared today is like, wow, true but overwhelming, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to implement it. I don't want to become a carpenter or a contractor. I don't want to line these people up. I don't know if I'm really up for it, but I want to get the wins of the game of real estate. Then you should check out a link below. I've provided a link for how you can actually partner with me, because I've bought over 6,000 single family homes, and I buy them almost every single day. And I partner with people all over the world. They watch my videos and they basically decide to become partners of mine. And then guess what? We go out there and we buy real estate together. So if you're thinking, wow, maybe I've got money sitting in a 401k, IRA, equity in a home, money somewhere that I could put better to use by investing in real estate, but let Kris and his team do all the heavy lifting and get it to hit a maximum ROI, that's what you're going to find if you click the link below. Fill out the information. My team will reach out to you and basically enlighten you on what that is. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of people that do that with me, that want to do that with me. So we are really selective, and I want to work with people that'll make the best partners. People that say, hey, I want a more secure financial future, but Kris, I also have dreams that I want to breathe life back into. I want a better life. I want a life like you have, bro. And if you are up for revitalizing your personal American dream and taking life to another level, no matter where you live in the world, click that link and I'll look forward to being in touch with you, because if we become partners, we're going to be connecting. Kris, increasing my rents is one thing on my rental properties, but what are the other mistakes that landlords make? If you're nervous about how landlords screw it up all the time, check this video and I'll share the top 5 hacks of what they are and how you don't make those mistakes.